All right, welcome, guys. I'm Coach Mike. This is our Move Everyday Strong Together podcast. Joined here by Rob Miller, and I'm going to introduce him in a second. But first, I just want to welcome you guys back for another episode. We're here at Hackettstown CrossFit today, and we've got a pretty cool story to share with you. Rob Miller, who also has his wife here, Tammy, but she refuses to be videoed, so we're just going to sit here and watch Tammy from across the room. And Rob's brother Donnie is also a member here with us, but he's not going to be on the podcast today. So without further ado, why don't I go ahead and let Rob introduce himself and tell us a little bit about where he came from and kind of how he ended up here at Strong Together, and then we'll dive into Rob's story and share some fun details with you. So go ahead, Rob. Welcome.
So why I joined was really to get my brother to start on some type of exercise program, because before I did, I thought, I do this by myself. I got it. I don't really need any help, but let me do this to help my brother get involved in something. And brought in here, we did a challenge. I did the 6-week challenge, lost like 23 pounds during the challenge. Fell in love with it. I was almost 2.5 years ago. Down about 40 pounds now. And for me, I'm a printer. I own a printing company, Mount Freedom Printing in Randolph. I've been a firefighter for almost 28 years in Parsippany. And what I've seen from doing this type of training, it's really about like a whole life skills, and your body just works better. So in firefighting, I'm doing things that the kids that are 20-year-old, I'm doing it without getting out of breath. My gear fits better. I just can do that job better. I can do my printing job better. Running in the rain from the mall to your car, just easier. It's amazing. Things that my body could do now that I couldn't do 20 years ago. And it's all from doing this for 2.5 years. And I thought I was in good shape when I started, and really just fell in love with CrossFit. It's great.
Awesome. So I think your background, I saw some pictures you showed me of you and Donnie from the 70s, back in the day.
70s or 80s,
so
yeah.
you looked a lot different then. So
yeah.
why don't you fill us in on kind of, you weren't always into fitness and working out, right? What was life before you became a firefighter and you started realizing that you needed to keep moving? What was it like before that?
Yeah, so like high school, pre-high school was fishing and eating. That's it. I'd get up in the morning, we'd go fishing on the lake, and I didn't even like rowing a boat. Went and saved my money and bought a little electric motor, so I didn't have to do that. So then graduated high school, and I carried this one picture around, which I showed you, which was Christmas of 1990. And I'm looking at him like, man, you look like a fat girl. You're just a wreck. Had long hair, and it just was shirt mess. It was a disaster. I carried that picture around with me for years. And lost probably 30 pounds then. I was 20 years old, and had some setbacks with some bad knees and things like that. And over time, married, kid, blah, 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 you put 5 pounds on at a time, and all of a sudden, you got it back. It wasn't the same as back in early 90s, and I had a little bit of muscle and stuff, but it was still, I was much heavier than I needed to be. And vice versa. Donnie was on the track team and on the cross-country team, and I don't know what happened there, but he was more active through our younger teen years, and he's let himself go, and then that's why we joined this, to get him back involved in something, because we're partners in our printing business and life and everything else, and I just, did this to get him back involved in something,
right? And
it was a jump start,
So back in the 90s, when that picture was taken, you said from then you lost like 30 or so pounds kind of on your own. What kind of stuff had you done, tried? Was it just joining the fire company, or like what kind of exercise stuff did you do before that?
It was all cardio and starving. It wasn't done properly. That's why it didn't work. It wasn't a life change. It was diet for, carry that picture around, eat nothing. It was
starving yourself.
Starving myself. That's why it wasn't a life change. It was more of a diet. And diets don't work unless you want to be on that diet for your rest of your life.
Right.
So that's one of the things that you guys did here, is give you a food plan and you almost can't eat it all if you're eating the right food. You get a lot of food if you're eating the right stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it gives you energy. You sleep better. You live better. Move every day. And it's really one of the things that I like about this particular gym is the coaches, you guys do. You know, when you're taking a class, somebody's giving the class, but there's usually one or two in the class. And if they're not here, they're in the back just working on their skills and working on the stuff. And they're always here for advice. You know, almost probably at least once a week, I ask one of the coaches for something. Whether I need to stretch a particular part, something's hurting, how do I get better at this movement? How do I get better mobility to do something? The advice and the amount of knowledge that's here is really great.
Awesome. So, so you started doing some stuff on your own, not really the healthy way. You just kind of like starve yourself.
It's
and
like Stairmaster, the old-fashioned.
Stairmaster all the time. And then you joined the Firehouse. And then what was that like in the beginning? Were you in shape? Were you out of shape? Did you thought you were in shape? And
yeah, in the beginning I was 20. So that was when I lost all the weight. And yeah, I mean, I was 20, so it was a little bit easier then also. As you get older, you get to be 30 and get married, and stuff starts to slow down. And then, you know, started going back on, and, you know, I just get new gear. It fits good again. And then you get new clothes, and they fit good again. You get a little bit lazy, and you get a style. I wasn't on an exercise program. I stopped using the Stairmaster and just went back to regular life, which wasn't enough to offset the food plan that I was currently taking.
Right.
It just was a little bit at a time, You look back at the picture, you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
You know?
Very different. So I'm wondering what it was like to actually, you know, first of all, I think it's awesome that you're a firefighter. You don't necessarily need to be. It's, you know, you have a successful business, but you chose, you know, to do that as well. Physically, what kind of things, you know, obviously you have to be able to do certain things. What did you find that was easy? Was it hard? Was it something you had to work for? Or?
Yeah, and there's definitely training and physical ability that you need to have. Like our training dummy is 175 pounds, which you have to be able to pick up and drag in the dark backwards. You know, then get it on the windowsill, down a ladder, holding it. I mean, so you need to have some capability physically to move stuff. You know, dragging a hose, water is heavy. You know, so dragging a hose with the back pressure on it, you have to be able to physically hold it in place, and you have to control it. So there's a lot of demanding stuff. Our gear, when you're in there with gear and your tools, it's you plus probably almost 100 pounds of just stuff that you're holding.
Right.
With lights and a set of irons in your pack and your gear. Now you get it wet, forget it. Now and then drag out something.
Yeah.
You know, so all that stuff you have, plus you're dragging this dummy, or pulling in the hose, or climbing a ladder, moving the ladders. You know, physically doing all that stuff, and it has to happen
pretty fast.
You know? Like I can't put the ladder down at rest. It's just not an option.
Yeah.
You know, lady screaming out the window. Hold on 1 second, my back's fine. You know, so you gotta do the job.
Yeah. So that wasn't necessarily something that you trained for. Like you didn't go to a gym and start picking up heavy stuff and run around. You kind of did it because you did it. Like you would do the training, I'm sure, together. You know, you guys go to Fire Academy or whatever it is, and you do that type of training. What did you find, you know, once you know, I already know that you said it got easier and you felt like things were better, but how quickly did you see that transition? Maybe like, what did it feel like? Did you start using, you know, techniques or exercises that you used in here, or was it just that you were stronger, more conditioned? Like, what was that transition like when you now all of a sudden you lost, you know, like you said, you lost 23 pounds in 6 weeks and then 40 total over a course of 2.5 years? What was it like? What was that moment like where you were like, wow, this feels different?
So the biggest portion of the difference was, like you're saying, techniques and just picking stuff up and keeping your knees in a certain spot when you're doing this type of lift versus that. When I'm picking something up from here, how do you position yourself? And then could you guys go over, you know, your form on everything, constantly tweaking that. So picking something up that's heavy, if you do it right, you don't hurt yourself.
Right.
And the cardio end of it, like not getting winded, was huge thing that I noticed, doing the same job that I was doing a year ago, that when you were done, you were exhausted. And now other people are sitting on the curb, drinking water, getting ready to pass out. And let's switch our bottle. Let's go.
Right.
Go back in.
It's kind of the warm up at that point.
Yeah,
right?
It really is. It's just endurance is the biggest thing for that job, because a room and content you go in, you can knock it down and be done in 15 minutes. But if you get into a bigger job, you could be there for a while, and you could have to be on a scene. We do something else that we've done is something called the RIP team, and I don't participate in too much. It's usually younger guys, but you'll be on a call. You could just be literally standing ready to go for hours with the pack on, and it makes you tired after a while. So that just helps being more fit, and everything just fits better. Honestly, the beer just fits better now.
Yeah. Cool. So outside of that, you said other daily things just feel different. I'm interested to see how life outside of the actual workplace has changed. I know you ride your bike a lot. I know you guys are very active when you go down the shore and things like that. What outside of the gym, what's it been like to? Because one of the things we talk about is move every day. We don't necessarily want people to only come in here and just work out and that's the only thing they can do. We want people to use this fitness outside, whether it's in the workplace or it's recreationally. What on the recreational side or the other just day-to-day life activities other than work, what kind of changes have you seen?
So recreational, down the shore, we have jet ski, right? So when you ride a jet ski, you're on the waves. On a lake, maybe not, but on the bay, it's choppy. So if you're sitting on the chair, you're going to get beat up. So you have to kind of be in that quarter squat, which I couldn't do. My knees, I have bad knees, which have gotten so much better. They still hurt, but I have so much more strengthening the muscles around them. I noticed that real quick on riding jet ski. I could stay in that quarter squat and ride through much rougher water at a quicker pace because I didn't have to sit down. So I would get to the point where my legs would get fatigued and I couldn't stay up there and I'd have to sit and you can't do it. So you stop doing it. So you can go ride for a half hour and almost stay in that squat position for 80% of it.
That's cool.
Which is great, and you get a lot more fun that way. And swimming, we're doing back and forth, hoofing around, the ball and the kids and stuff like that. And back and forth, and you just don't get that fatigue. Because you got, when you're here, you're doing some classes are more geared towards, that cardio, which could be 20 minutes, half hour, whatever the increments are. So it just conditions you, and you don't notice that until you realize that. Last year when I was doing this, I would get the other side of the lagoon and wait, and I'm gonna swim back. Right. Now you just go and come back, and it makes it just enjoyable to be able to accomplish things that shouldn't be. Really shouldn't have to think about this.
I think it's interesting you said you don't realize that it's different until you do it again, and then you're like, wow, I wasn't that tired. And I think most people just kind of assume like, all right, I'm riding a jet ski or I'm going for a bike ride or I'm playing with my kids. Like I'm supposed to be tired, and I don't think people realize that that's.
And you see people say, oh, I'm getting too old for that. I'm getting too old for that. It's a number.
Yeah.
I'm in better shape now than when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind, I'm in better shape now. And like I mentioned in the beginning, like running to the car. Like if you get caught in the rain and you run to the car, you just get in and start it and you go. Whereas 3 years ago, I'm just going to get wet. I'm not running. Yeah. Because you couldn't do it.
Right.
It hurt my knee, would do whatever. And if you did get there, you're so out of shape and so tired, you'd have to rest.
Right. Yeah.
So something simple as that. When you get to the car in a hurry, you have to.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about Donnie. I know he's not here, but he was a big part of the reason that you came in here and that you started. And I know, it was a big goal for me when I first met you guys, which was outside of the gym, to get you both in here, and especially Donnie, and get him moving again. And I know he shares a lot of the same things that you've shared with me, like, hey, life just feels easier. Like I can bend down and pick this up now, and I can, tie my shoe and I can do this. And what's it been like from a family member's perspective because I'm sure that a lot of people that listen to us, watch us, or have seen us from the outside have those friends or family members that they'd like to influence, that they'd like to be a positive, push for them in the right direction, but, just don't really know how to do it, or don't want to make them feel bad, or don't want to, feel like they're pressuring them. What's it been like to be able to have a family member, that you care about also do something like this and see positive benefits?
Absolutely. It is just the day-to-day stuff that I see is easier for him. Getting up out of a chair without noise, and being able to tie his shoe. But 2 years ago, if we had to move a desk or something, I would have my wife help me, even as silly as that sounds. But because he couldn't do it, he couldn't carry that and be on the stairs and maneuver himself down in a safe manner. It was a struggle for him. Yeah. And being down the shore or whatever it is, it's just being able to do regular everyday things without thinking about it as much, and just effortlessly doing stuff that you shouldn't have to struggle with. Picking something up and carrying it out of the car. Now he does it. And it's just it frees you into doing regular everyday chores. Being physically fit just releases you to be able to conduct life. Right. It's really nice. Yeah. It's free.
What kind of things have you seen? I know, Donnie, you saw weight loss during the challenge as well, and his nutrition has changed. And what kind of things have you seen, different in him? Just in general, other than just daily activities. Has his mindset, his mood? You're his brother, so yeah. You saw before here, you saw after here, and I wish Donnie was here so he could share kind of his story with us, but maybe we can get him on a different time. But he seems, he's always happy. That's one thing. Every time I see him here, he's happy, he's cheery, he's kind of scared to come in, but he's always running up the hill because he doesn't want to be late and he doesn't want to get yelled at by me. But he keeps coming back. So, what maybe outside of just the physical things, what kind of different things have you seen?
Yeah, the commitment to this. And I don't know if it becomes a habit or it's enjoyable. It releases something in you that sometimes you don't want to come here, but when you leave, you might be tired, you might be sweaty, a little bit wore out, but you feel good. Mm-hmm. And it's something that you want to do. And he's always had trouble committing to something. He was a member of 2 different gyms, had memberships in 2 different gyms. I don't want him to go to either one. Mm-hmm. I've seen it multiple times that he joined, then joined, and not actually go. And he actually comes here, 2 or 3 times a week.
You think that's a combination of you and
yes,
the coaches, or just that he actually enjoys it?
My daughter calls him, she'll text him, we're going 4:30 today, and he'll be all right. So it might be a little bit of that, but if he wanted to make an excuse, he would. Mm-hmm. Because we used to go to a regular strip mall gym together also, and it was like pulling teeth trying to get him to show up. He wouldn't do it because it was boring. It didn't work. Right. That's the thing. Just sitting at a pin machine, and pushing the chest plate. How many times can you do that before you get bored with it? Right. 3. Yeah. That's terrible. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, 3 sets of 10. And then
get up, do the leg one, go home. It's boring. So this is enjoyable, and I've seen for him the commitment at 2.5 years, and he's still committed to do it, is huge for him personally. Mm-hmm. And that's just, you can see he's more able to do things just throughout a regular day, whatever comes up.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we all love having him here, and then obviously you and Tammy, it was kind of a chain reaction. I think you and Donnie started at the same time, and then Tammy. It took a year
to get her to.
Yeah. And now, everybody knows Cord, and, how's that? We're coming to the end of our time here with the podcast, but how has that, I don't know, what's that been like for the family to have kind of a healthy place to go and, and release energy, or maybe yell at each other, or, be partners in a workout and get some anger out. I know, Court is active as well. Your daughter, she's active and swims, and I think that she do track as well.
Doing bowling, basketball. Now this year she started soccer.
Awesome.
Getting ready to start soccer.
So what's that been like for the family to kind of, I don't know exactly what things were like before this, but having this kind of outlet to, again, just be physical and make health, a priority.
The biggest thing that I enjoy with having the whole family involved is even if there is that day that I just don't feel like coming, or Amy doesn't feel like coming, we play off each other. Like, oh no, we're going.
Yeah.
And like I see, you drag yourself in because the other one is keeping us. We're keeping each other accountable, And then we both, I say Court, we made Court text Donnie because he feels even more guilty telling her no than me no. I'll tell him at work I'm going to the 4:30 class, I'm going to the 5:30 class, whatever it is. Yeah. He's like, oh, I'll try. And we have Court send them a text, and then fine, But it helps with accountability inside our own little group to keep each person on track, And that if I just had a talk with him yesterday about desserts. Like you see, look at that. We got dessert. I have one little thing ice cream, and you have a bowl. Knock it off.
Right.
So just keeping each other in check.
Right.
In day-to-day life. And then so we have this support system, plus we have our own little internal support for each other, trying to just stay on track.
Yeah. I think that's very, very important. A lot of times people come in here, even if they come in and they're by themselves and they have us, I think that it just only strengthens that mindset, strengthens that bond, strengthens that daily routine, that habit, the mindset when there's another person, even if it's not a family member, just a friend, and so that's why we have so many bring a friend days and so many come try it out for free. And a lot of the people that we see that are the most successful typically have either come in with a friend or a family member or joined at the same time or, work out with one or two people each time. But I think that's...
Even other members, you become friends. Mm-hmm. Tammy's got a couple of big texts with a couple of different people, what class you going to, because it makes it more fun.
Right.
And it is a family. And even the advice of other senior members, people that have been doing it a while, nobody lets you do anything wrong. It's the amount of support that's available and the amount of extra stimulation you can get from different people having that group setting as opposed to working out yourself in your basement.
Yeah.
You're not going to ever get that. You're not going to. It's really, really enjoyable atmosphere.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I thank you for your time sharing your story. I know 20 minutes is probably not enough time to, talk about all the different things that have changed. We've been at this now for 2.5 years, and I think we've talked about every different muscle on your body and how we can stretch this and stretch that, and how it's how we've just tried to kind of keep transforming little bit by little bit until you're as strong as ever. So we could keep going forever, but I think it's awesome that you guys have found a good routine, that you can do this together. And we love having, everyone knows the Millers. We're always yelling at one of you or the other, more in a fun way than a negative way. But you guys have definitely become a staple here of the evening classes, and I like that it's basically any one of them you'll show up to 4:30 through 6:30, really. And it's pretty cool. So again, thank you for your time, and hopefully you guys learned something a little bit about the Miller's story, and we hope you join us next week for another edition of the Move Everyday podcast. Thanks, guys. Take care.